This connection that is so divine, that is so beautiful, that everything that you consider to be most passionately loving, most passionately tranquil, most passionately at one, that is before you now. Through loved ones, through spirit guides, through all people that you love, through everything that you love about the earth, it is all before you now. Feeling as if you have wings that are now just expanding out through your back. And knowing that you can use these wings and letting yourself take flight. Take flight within this beautiful, prosperous realm that is your heaven and your oasis. And see yourself flying to other realms, other worlds that are just as beautiful, or perhaps even more so, within this space that exists inside you, where there is no such thing as time, no such thing as space, no such thing as emotional disarray or imbalance. You are free. You are untethered. You are in alignment with your true, authentic self that is without conflict and is pure in heart, in mind, in spirit. And just let yourself continue this inner journey as you explore the vastness of the beauty that is yourself. And let the sound carry you into these realms of beautiful exploration. And just letting yourselves now starting to come back into physical reality, coming back into your physical bodies, and just bringing with you all the love, the beauty, the bliss that you have experienced within this realm that is your oasis, this realm that is your heaven. And so just feel as if the top of your head, the crown chakra, is wide open, and that you are now receiving this energy, bringing yourself back into your body, letting this you as you just make gentle movements, gentle flutters, as you start to return now into the physical form. Just slowly starting to stretch out your fingers, slowly starting to flutter your eyes, slowly starting to wiggle your toes. Just nice, soft, gentle movements. Just like you're waking up in the morning, letting yourself be gentle. As you now come back and just take a deep breath in through your nose and a deep breath out through your mouth. And just letting those gentle movements now return to subtlety. And when you are ready, you may come back to the present moment and open your eyes. Good evening, everybody. Good evening, everybody. There we go. That feels good. Why don't we just take this moment, because we are feeling very floaty, to just introduce ourselves to the person next to you. Maybe just give a nice little handshake or a hug. Just give a few seconds now to embrace your neighbor. Just send them love. Go ahead. All right, are we all feeling heavenly? Heavenly, lovely, connected? Excellent. Well, thank you again, everybody, for being here tonight. I do want to thank Ian Byington, who is here from spiritofvictoria.ca, and so he's actually helping to promote a lot of these events. So Ian, I want to thank you again for being here tonight. And of course, Ian's cards are up there as well too, spiritofvictoria.ca, my cards, and of course, Astoria's cards are up there as well. So tonight we are going to begin a transmission, and this transmission is going to talk about reinventing the real. So, let's reinvent reality, shall we? Oh, Brad, how do we do that? Well, we're doing that right now. Each and every single one of you right now is perceiving this event in your own world. And that we function through our own world through 6 basic universal laws. And that's what we're going to start off with tonight, firstly, is looking into these 6 universal laws. What would they be? Well, the first one we would have would be the law of free will. Do we all know what free will is? To basically give a summarizing of free will, it represents confusion. In order for you to have free will, you must be confused. Well, how is that a good thing? It's not that it's a good thing, it's not that it's a bad thing, it's simply what is. So as we become confused, what happens when we are going through this realm of confusion? How do we get past confusion. Anybody? We make choice. Absolutely. When you're inside a realm of confusion, the key to going past confusion is being able to make choice, being able to make decisions. And that is what each and every single one of us has the capability of doing. This means that we cannot have lovely beings from beyond come down on a spaceship and say, okay, humans, here's how you're supposed to operate. Here's how you're supposed to get along with each other. We don't have that. We have complete and total free will. Now, this can be, again, a blessing, or for some people it could be seen as a burden, because we basically feel that we need to be guided, because we're so confused, because we don't even really know what we're doing here. We don't even really know what our tasks, what our responsibilities are. We become very susceptible to suggestion. And then many people in the ancient times that were the kings, the queens, the emperors would say, well, we can take advantage of this because I'm starting to learn a lot of the secrets that have been shared by ancient mystics, by ancient masters, by ancient shamans. And now I'm starting to acquire all of this ancient knowledge that was passed down by ancient astronauts, ancient extraterrestrials that have been on this earth well before the beginning of our time. And I now have all of that information available to me. So now I'm going to make everybody else my puppet. And now they're just going to want to serve me. And because we have that free will, we have that possibility of feeling that we are being coerced, of feeling that we are moving into some type of alignment that may serve another person. So again, that aspect of free will is allowed. Welcome, new people. Hello. That's okay. Welcome. Come on in. So again, free will is helping us to understand that through confusion, we have choice. That through choice, we have decision. So that is the first universal law. The second universal law, does anybody want to try and take a stab at this? Starts with a capital K. Karma. We have karma. Now, what is it that represents karma? Can anybody tell me what karma represents? It's another one word. It has to do with memory. Memory is karma. Memory is also time. In order for us to actually have a past and a future, we create that with memory. Memory itself is what allows karma to be what it is. We have basically what we would know as a negative and a positive karma. This negative and a positive karma basically represents things that we have learned or things that we are still attempting to learn, attempting to resolve, attempting to move into alignment through challenge. So basically, when we're playing together with time, when we're playing with memory, we take ourselves out of the present moment, which means there is no yesterday, there is no tomorrow. There is only one infinite now moment. And this is what karma itself represents, is the aspect of memory through experience. So when you're actually remembering yourself as a little girl or a little boy, and you're playing in a field and you remember that you fell down and you scraped your knee, oh yeah, that was all the way back then. No, it wasn't. It was right now. You experience that right now because the memory is now returning to you. So basically, we're looking at the aspect that karma is giving the illusion that memory itself is taking us into some type of aspect of nested time. But karma, again, represents that aspect of memory. So when you hold a very hard grudge upon yourself, upon others, that is the memory that has basically been imprinted into your mind and feeling that I need to hold this grudge, that I need to be angry, I need to be frustrated, I need to be upset, I need to feel like I'm a victim, I need to feel that I am abandoned. All of these, again, represent the aspect of memory. But then again, there's the joyful times. I remember the time when I felt I was going on vacation, and I felt so joyful, I felt so loving, I felt so amazed that I had this wonderful experience. Therefore, there are the two polarities of memory. that constitute karma. Karma is not a permanent thing. Karma is something that we are attempting to repeat over and over and over again, like a feedback loop, until we realize what we're holding on to that prevents us from moving forward into another reality that shows more of ourselves. So again, what really holds memory in place, and this is going very deeply into karma, but what really holds memory in place is what? What makes a memory stand out? Anybody? Emotion. Emotion is what confines us in reality. Both negative and positive emotions are what confine us into reality. So if we are jealous of a person, if we're angry at a person, someone has made us sad, we're feeling fearful, or we're feeling extremely happy, we're feeling extremely excited, we're feeling very optimistic, these again represent different emotional traits, both categorized in the negative and positive polarities. So karma is basically this feedback loop that is telling you how you decide to see yourself because you have given validation in regards to what those memories represent to yourself. So this is how we are starting to create our realities. We perceive our realities based upon what we give validation to. So if we give validation to hurt, we will start attracting a hurtful reality. If we start attracting ourselves to love, we remember love, we will start attracting a loving reality. Now, karma, again, is not something that we have to feel that we shouldn't have any of. We do have that aspect of memory until we learn to become much more present. It is right here, right now, where you are actually eternal. In fact, if all of us were present all the time and we had no aspect of memory, we would not have time at all. We would not have a yesterday, we would not have a tomorrow, and we would certainly have a much more increased lifespan. Because the aspect of karma, of memory itself, is actually what keeps you contained inside a reality to where there are conditions, barriers, belief systems that prevent yourselves from expanding. So emotion keeps us entrapped, keeps us confined inside a reality based upon what we have given ourselves permission to experience because we validated it. If we feel that we are a victim, we validate that. If we feel that we've been abused, we validate that. If we feel happy, we validate that. That is how we are, again, working with our reality. So that is the second universal law of karma. The third universal law is what's known as the law of equivalent exchange. Everything comes at a price. So basically, you're not just going to see yourself getting heaps and heaps and heaps of money just coming out of thin air, just dropping out of the sky and seeing all these money bags pouring onto your backyard. That'd be kind of fun. But of course, there's always some aspect of a catch. There is a catch-22. There is a price as it relates to what we are willing to surrender to therefore acquire. So whatever it is that you wish to acquire, you must discover what you feel you are holding on to, preventing yourself from going to that next state, preventing yourself from moving to that next level of reality. For example, if you feel that you want to be a successful business person, but you still don't feel that you're valuable enough to actually succeed in business, you need to get rid of, well, not really get rid, but basically have to substitute that aspect of where you feel that you're not good enough to be a business person. So that business aspect of feeling that you're not good enough, that no matter how hard I try, I can't succeed. It's because you do not realize your capabilities. You do not truly accept your ability to become a successful business person. So when you surrender that by looking at the emotional attachment that's preventing you from going to becoming a successful business person, that emotion is now being looked at. That emotion is now being accepted. It's not being changed. It's not being altered. It's not being manipulated. It's being embraced. I admit that I felt that I was not good enough to be a successful business person because I felt abandoned, or I felt I couldn't do this. I don't feel I was intelligent or smart enough. And now I accept that that emotion has been a part of my reality. I surrender it. I let it go. I let the emotion come out as it needs to. And now, success is right around the corner because I align, I vibrate, I move myself into that success. Congratulations, now you're a successful business person. You have to look into the emotions that you feel are creating some type of validation that you have given to then surrender those emotions and then move into something that you prefer. So what I'm telling all of you right now are the steps, are the keys, that through the universal laws, that when you look at free will, when you look at karma, when you look at equivalent exchange, then you're realizing that now you are balancing yourself out. You are now giving up something that doesn't serve you, and now you're bringing in something. You're attracting something that majorly serves you. Because again, when we start to be little, we're just being told by everybody, our parents, our friends, our teachers, our co-workers, oh, you can't do this, you can't do that, you should be doing this, you shouldn't be doing that. I couldn't succeed in this, so how do you think you could possibly succeed in this, right? So we get all of these particular forms of feedbacks of perspectives. Because we're in a law of free will, because we feel that we need to follow other people's example and not really know how to think for ourselves, we get confined into these particular belief systems. And that is what limits our ability of reality. We are now like, again, this hamster inside a little wheel that's running around, and it can't find a way out because we keep validating that we're a failure. We keep validating that we can't do this, that I can't get past the idea of harm or the part of hurt. So now as we look into these first three universal laws, we move on into the fourth. And the fourth represents that of cause and effect. So basically, action, reaction in that particular way. So as we're realizing that this itself, in regards to cause and effect, is what creates feeling. Now, feeling itself is a very different form as it pertains to emotion. Does anyone know the difference between feeling and emotion? In a way, yes. So basically, you're looking at feeling as something that is being reacted. It is the refreshment of reaction. When you're looking at emotion, it is the abandonment of that aspect of reaction, which means that we are not giving ourselves permission to feel in this moment. We feel that we may be too obtrusive. We feel that we may be getting ourselves out there into trouble, or there may be some type of repercussion. And so what we do is we withhold the ability to feel, and we basically allow these feelings to stack up because we don't feel we're good enough to express it, or we feel we may be hurting somebody's feelings if we have this one feeling that wants to share itself with us. So basically, it's the idea of neglected feelings that have been stacked up, kind of like looking at a stack of pancakes, right? And basically, that aspect of that stack, or all of that lava inside of us, will eventually come to a breaking point. It'll basically spew, it'll erupt in that way. So again, action-reaction is the basis to feeling itself. Okay? Then, of course, we have the fifth universal law, which represents that of space and time. So again, we pretty much understand that. That's pretty straightforward. The whole idea that that is how causality functions, that we use space and time to create the illusion of experience. So basically, everything is calibrated in this way. Everything is an allotment of an infinite amount of frames that we're moving through to give us some type of illusion of motion. And space and time help us with this, again, in association with action and reaction. Then, of course, we have the sixth universal law, which represents that of love and light. So, when we're looking into the aspect of love, what are we talking about? What does love represent? Acceptance. Pure acceptance of another. Pure acceptance of yourself. Pure acceptance of all that is. What about light? What does light represent? Information. Insight. Everything that represents our aspect to mind. So you could understand that love is an essence as it pertains to spirit. It is the idea that everything is being embraced, everything is being accepted, everything is being nurtured, everything is being beautified. Light representing the aspect of information, everything that represents the product of mind. everything that is the database to what experience and memory itself has allowed to propagate within the universe. So these are the 6 universal laws. Now the first 3 is primarily what we'll be focusing on tonight. The last 3 are more technicalities in that way. I'm not saying you guys need to warp space and time and maybe create a portal and, hey, I'm in Victoria right now, I'll go to Hawaii, right? That's great, take me with you. No, what we're going to focus on tonight again is a lot of, as it relates to free will, as it relates to karma, as it relates to equivalent exchange. So what we're going to do next is we're going to look a little bit more into a mirror exercise. So this is one of the 2 exercises we're going to do tonight. Now the mirror exercise is basically playing with different parallel realities. So what this is going to entail is I'm going to be guiding you through a guided meditation. And through this guided meditation, we're going to imagine that a mirror is directly in front of us. And what we're actually going to do is we're going to call in a parallel version of ourselves and feel that this is what I would like to align to. Now, you do not need to be modest in yourself and saying, oh, Brad, I'm completely perfect everywhere I am right now. You know, it's okay. It's okay to say, hey, maybe I want a reality of myself where I can feel that I'm much more outspoken. Maybe I can feel a version of myself where I feel a lot more financially secure, or that I feel a lot more heart-opened, heart-centered in that way. Whatever it may be, this is your own time to really connect now with an actual parallel self. Now, I want you guys to also understand this before we get into the meditation. I want you to clear yourselves out into the mentality of feeling that imagination is fantasy. It isn't. There's a reason why we have imagination. It was not given to us by the aspect of God to feel that it's a home entertainment system, right? We're not here to say, oh, that's cool, I'm dancing on pink clouds, feels good, right? Understand that imagination is your gateway. It is your dimensional chariot that is bringing you into an infinite number of parallel realities. All of these realities exist simultaneously with us. Think of it as a layer of an onion. Right now, there are other veils of reality that exist where there are versions of yourself that may be, again, very successful, that may be very spiritual, that may be very loving. And again, representing the negative aspect of the spectrum, may be very, very conceited, may be very violent, may be very abusive, etc. All of these different versions of ourselves, again, are like these layers of the onion. So what we are doing is we are calling in the layer that we prefer, and we're actually going to start talking to that parallel version of ourself here in this exercise. So I want you to really value your imagination tonight. I want you to feel that my imagination is a dimensional gateway. It's a chariot that's going to show me another version of myself that I prefer to be. Well, Brad, is it possible that I can actually align to a parallel self and actually become younger? Yes, it is. Brad, is it possible that I can actually align to a version of myself and become far more intelligent, actually have my IQ points raised? Yes, it is. All of these are possible, but you are the gatekeepers. You have to decide that this is what you want to create. Now I'm getting you guys excited. Oh, great, I'll be 20 years old again. All right. All of that is possible. So again, this is what we're going to do tonight in this exercise. So let's get ourselves nice and relaxed and comfortable. Get ourselves into a posture free of any points of strain. And let's just go ahead now and close our eyes. And again, we're just going to take a couple of deep breaths in. So take a deep breath in through your nose. And a deep breath out through your mouth. Once again, take another deep breath in through your nose. And out through your mouth. And one last time, deep breath in. Deep breath out. Just let yourself breathe normally. Relax yourself. Just feel yourself unwinding. Just feel yourself becoming more and more loose. I just want you to feel now the splendor of the blackness of void that you are able to see behind your eyelids. I just want you to feel that as you're tuning into this blackness of void, that you are now giving yourself permission to become more and more deeply relaxed. And as you again explore this void, this blackness, we are now going to give some type of form to this void. I want you to imagine that directly in front of you is a very large mirror. Now, this mirror can simply just be glass itself. It can be in a frame. It can be upon an arch. Whatever you feel, the mirror itself wishes to present itself to you. Just accept this mirror as it appears to you now. And within your mind, I just want you to imagine that you are rising yourself up. And you are now slowly starting to walk towards this mirror. And as you look into the heart of this mirror now, you see your own natural reflection. You see yourself as you are, each and every single day. What I want you to do is just imagine that you are placing both of your hands upon this mirror. And you will notice that in your mind that this mirror feels somewhat different than a common mirror that you may see in physical reality. This mirror begins to respond to your touch. You may start to feel fluctuations or different types of sensations that may come through as you place your hands upon this mirror. This mirror is doing that because it is an intelligent mirror. It is a mirror that responds to your commands. It is a mirror that will cast a reflection based upon your intentions. And so now that you can feel yourself touching this mirror, I want yourself to imagine, just imagine, the type of person that you feel you would like to become right here, right now. The type of person that brings you that connection, that feeling of completion. That feeling where you are now giving yourself permission to become this person that makes you feel so warm, so fulfilled, so loving. I want you now to call out to the mirror and allow that reflection to be cast upon the mirror. See this now. And just be aware of how your reflection has changed. Be aware of what the new reflection represents as you look back at it now. And that this mirror is now personifying the image of yourself that you feel represents a state of completion. Something that makes you feel loving, something that makes you feel warm, a reflection that carries these fundamentals within itself. And as you look upon this reflection, that reflection is now putting their hands up against yours. And you will feel as if the mirror right now is becoming somewhat liquefied. A somewhat liquefied mirror, where when that reflection of yourself pushes their hands through, they now meet with the touch of your hands. And as you feel their touch upon your hands, you are now instantly bonded with this version of yourself. And that this version of yourself has the ability to communicate with you. Which means that they will be able to coach you, to mentor you, to teach you about what is necessary for you to align to their vibration, so that you can become the person that you feel is the completion that this reflection represents. And so as you are now touching hands in between the reflection, I want you now to give an intention to communicate with this version of yourself. What does he or she have to tell you here and now? What changes do you feel you may need to make? What do you feel you're possibly still holding on to? What emotions need to be embraced and released so that you can become this version of yourself? Just let that communication happen between the two of you now. For this is your realm, your reality. Let yourself talk, communicate with this version of yourself. And just listen to what he or she may have to say. And as you feel this connection with this parallel version of yourself, for he or she does exist in another parallel earth, does exist within another reality. As you feel this connection, you have now given yourself a permanent bond with this version of yourself because you have called it forward. You have given yourself permission to call upon this beautiful parallel version of yourself, and he or she will always remain with you because now he or she is an anchor for you. They are an anchor that will constantly talk to you, that will speak to you and saying, this is all you have to do to align to my vibration to become myself. All you are doing is playing with amalgamation, playing with culmination, playing with bonding and merging, and you are becoming this version. Therefore, if you imagine that this person that you are interacting with is real, you can reinvent the real to become them. This is what it is to reinvent the real. Is to discover what you're still holding on to. Is to discover that this feeling, these feelings are telling you, I can become this person. I can become this vibration. I can become this person that is myself. So I want you now just to send love to that reflection of yourself. Sending love to him and her. Giving appreciation for their presence. And again, not feeling that this is a fantasy of imagination, but a reality of imagination. One probable reality out of countless realities that represent yourself. So let's now take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. We're going to slowly start to come back into the present moment. And when you are ready, you may open your eyes.